and welcome to this masterclass discussion on bank collaboration, brought to you by The Banker magazine from our studio here in London. My name is Brian Caplen, I'm editor of The Banker. Here with me to talk about the topic is Satvinder Singh from Global Transaction Banking at Deutsche Bank. So welcome, Satvinder. Now banks, they're hugely competitive animals. Why would they want to sit down and start collaborating with each other?
Brian, first of all, many thanks for inviting me. A very good morning to you as well. The concept of collaboration and competition is not a new one from a banking industry perspective. So the general mindset is banks compete. But what people miss is the significant collaboration that's coming through within the banking industry as well.
All right, and is that getting greater rather than...
I think it is. Yeah. I think a lot of banks have realized that there's actually a lot of value to be added in collaborating together. For example, a lot of clients are looking at banks to provide services. And what the banks are doing is saying, is that part of our value chain? Is that something we pride ourselves on? Or is that something that by collaborating, we can provide the client and be more relevant to them?
All right, so you're looking at areas where it's more of a utility or a function that you could actually provide together, and then you can concentrate on what you do that's unique for the client.
That's one of the aspects. So where can we combine forces to be more relevant from a client perspective? The other part of it is, where can we work together and potentially work with the regulators? So one bank going to the regulators and expressing a view versus an industry of bankers going in and presenting a view, representing a cross-section of clients, which is not predominantly their own personal view, is a much better way of having a conversation with the regulatory landscape in today's world. So lots of multiple dimensions as to where collaboration works, clearly from a regulatory perspective, clearly from a client perspective, and multiple other ways as well.
Okay, now, obviously you're in the transaction banking area. Are there particular initiatives in the transaction banking area around collaboration and partnership?
So if you look at transactional banking, a lot of collaboration has happened between transactional banks on the regulatory side. So at the advent of regulatory changes like SEPA, huge amount. Dodd-Frank, a huge amount of collaboration. Currently, with market infrastructure changes like T2S, the whole industry is involved in making sure that when it goes live, it is a success. So we're all vested in the successes of these regulatory changes. We can present them better from a regulatory perspective if we work together. So that's one part of it. The second part is defining industry standards. Again, it's not just one bank that can make those industry standards. They have to be adopted by the full banking community. And from a client perspective, there's a lot of collaboration on setting up the industry standards. Third dimension to that is industry utilities. Whether it's KYC related or others, there's a big focus on saying, what can we as a banking industry do together to create utilities that will serve all of us and will take a lot of the stress out of the system that all of us are trying to replicate within our own organizations. And the real value is to have a utility concept. The last one is where we're collaborating to win mandates, because the clients are demanding that collaboration. The clients are saying a sum total of what you provide, what you provide, what you provide is what I want. Now figure it out. And that's the emerging trend we're seeing now.
And that must be particularly true when you're trying to present a global offering to a client, and not many banks these days can say they really have a truly global offering.
So I think if you look at it from a client perspective, if a client wants a global presence, there are a few banks that can provide it. But if they want a global presence with a very in-depth knowledge of local clients, local requirements, that will require some level of collaboration with multiple partners. And that's what we're seeing today. Clients are saying, I love the globality of what you provide. I love the consistency of the products you provide. I love the fact that you have local connectivity. You add that with local banks who have significant deeper penetration in that market. It's a great combination.
Okay. Satvinder, we've talked now about collaboration. Let's talk back in a few minutes about the actual practicalities of doing it on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you.